You know, as a men's rights advocate, one of the most frustrating things for me over the last year has been a phrase that feminists keep throwing at me, which is not all men, but enough men. And they're never using that argument in a productive manner. They're always using it as a way to invalidate what I do, invalidate the fact that men also need a voice to represent them. So you know what? Let's explore that ideology. Not all women, but enough women. Enough women using fear-mongering as a tactic to fight for equality. Now, not all women, but definitely enough women taking advantage of the family court system by misusing child support or just straight up alienating the father from the kid. Yeah, enough of those women. So, definitely not all women, okay? Hear me out. But enough women that will beat and abuse their boyfriends, and then when their boyfriends do so much as restrain them or try to tell their friends or the police that this abuse is occurring, enough of those women that lie, say that the men abuse them first, and a lot of the time effectively end up ruining that man's reputation and putting them in jail. Definitely enough of those women. Now, definitely not all women, but enough women that sexually assault, sexually abuse, and rape men and boys, and then get society to defend them by telling the boys that the boys just should have liked them anyways. They should have been grateful that those women wanted to touch them. Enough of those women, please. Now, not all feminists by any means, but enough feminists that refuse to include men in the conversation, tell them things like no vagina, no voice, and then wonder why men don't want to ally, they don't understand words like privilege or understand that the pay gap is even real. Huh? Can we talk about that? Enough feminists who don't properly explain equality, but only want to talk about equality when it benefits them. Now hear me out. Not all women. Okay, not all of them, but enough women that just view men as piggy banks and dicks. And if they don't have the perfect dick or the right amount of money in that piggy bank, then they're just trash. There's no good men in the world. Why won't anybody take care of me? Enough of those women, please. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we would also like enough, because definitely not all women, but enough women that manipulate men into having children because they know that that's the way to trap that man for the rest of his life. Can we have enough of those women? Definitely, for sure, right? No, not all women. Hear me out, don't lose me. Not all women, but enough women who stick time frames and time stamps on when a dude needs to propose to her. And actually, while we're on that track, not all women, but enough women that think that that wedding ring or the engagement ring needs to be a certain price or a certain size. Bitch, he loves you. If he can only afford a ring pop to show you that, you keep that ring pop for the rest of your goddamn life, and you better not lick it once. He worked hard for that. No joke. She doesn't get that, no dick. Now, not all women, but enough women. Mothers. Let me stand corrected. Not all mothers, but definitely enough mothers who, if the father doesn't work out, they make the son the man of the house. Yeah, they'll tell them that. Tell them they need to do these things now. They need to do the man jobs. Yeah, enough of those women, okay? It is not your son's job to raise you. Thank you. Now, not all mothers and not all women, but enough mothers and enough women that think that if something happens in the marriage, that it's okay to just pack up the kids in the middle of the night and move across the city, across the province, or across the country without telling the father. Enough of those women. You are kidnapping your child. Enough women that say kill all men. I think we've definitely had enough of those. And definitely enough of the ones that were singing Peg All Men 2020 during 2020. And also enough of the women screaming about bone marrow babies. Not all of them, but enough of them. So yes, we know, not all men, but enough men. But we need you to know that not all women, but definitely enough women, okay? enough women making little Timmy be raised with some sort of gender guilt, some sort of feeling of shame just because he's a man. I'm about to say something that you might not like, but little Timmy doesn't have to feel bad for his privilege, okay? And you shaming him for it and using scaremongering tactics to raise little Timmy in society is going to raise little Timmy to not understand feminism, equality, and most likely grow up to be a misogynistic a-hole. But isn't that just the conversation of the century? We always say, how are there so many men growing up to be misogynistic assholes? But yet we're not realizing that a good chunk of men are raised by single mothers with teachers who are predominantly women, caregivers, predominantly women. We take zero accountability because we don't see the type of messages that we're perpetuating into the world. So please, feminists, understand that we know, we hear you, but we need you to hear us. We need you to understand that as women, we've got to take some accountability. Equality means accepting equal responsibility. And I don't see a whole lot of women in society doing that right now. Can we start? Even though you may not want to hear this, until we start taking some accountability and some responsibility, we are going to continue to get more of those men, and we are going to continue to breed the same type of daughters that are contributing to this issue. That's not a conversation we're ready to have now, is it? Thank you.
When the credits roll, I'ma look back on all the good and the bad. I can't forget where I started. I still got a long way to go, but I know that I'm on the right road, trying to live life on a high note, walking through life on a tightrope.